Hi, welcome to part 2 of my tutorial video. Yes, I am talking now, and I apologize if my voice is hard to hear because apparently my computer's microphone is terrible. And I did a couple tests, and this is me actually talking in a normal voice, and it sounds kind of like a whisper on my computer, so hope you get better results. Anyway, last time we just made nice, happy line art with lines, highlights, shadows, and all the different colors. Excuse me. This time, we are going to add on extras. You probably noticed, of course, it doesn't have a mane, it doesn't have a tail, it's kind of bland and blank. So we're going to fix that. And what you need to do is you need to, if your photos aren't already black and white, you should probably switch to that. Go up to your brush, get a normal hard brush, hardness should be 100%, size should be 1 pixel, just like what you're doing. And if you're like me and your opacity is still back where it used to be, go back to opacity of 100. Now, we don't want to edit our lines, and we don't want to edit the shadows because those are perfect. So I discovered recently there's this nice thing in Photoshop called groups. So if you have Photoshop or you have a program like Photoshop, you might be able to do this. Underneath the layers, there should be a little button that looks like a folder. It says create a new group, like that. We're going to name our group No Edit. It should be plain and simple enough. We do not edit this stuff. So select the lines to the shadow and put those under No Edit. And then minimize our group so we don't have to look at this. And so I can hide the group entirely, and I can show it entirely. Now, we're going to start making a mane for our horse because, you know, horses have that. We're going to make this new layer above No Edit because we want our mane to be above our lines and shadows so it doesn't look really awkward. So you can go layer, new layer, or you can do Shift Control N, as it says right there. We're going to name this, well, actually not, we're not going to name it, it's just going to be a color, so it doesn't really matter. We're going to make another new layer, and this one's going to be our mane. We're going to call this horse mane, because we're going to add some more stuff later that's not going to be a normal horse mane. So this is our normal one. Now, firstly, we're just going to sketch. I'm not going to bother with a red line because it's just a mane. So, just sketch a mane. I don't like that. And you can take as long as you need to get whatever you want perfectly. And you don't have to make a mane. I don't know what you're making. Could you make something other than a horse? And maybe it's dragon. Dragons don't usually have manes, but I guess they could. And what you're going to want to do, from there, you're going to want to make this right here connect, even though the LineArt connects with it. Because when we go to fill this in with the technique we used last time, it's going to just delete everything if you don't put that line there, because it's not going to detect that there's a barrier there. So you need to make sure you have stuff like that in. But be careful to stay on the line, because you don't want your mane to go over your ear. You just want it to go over the back ear, not the front ear. Now we need to make the rest of our mane. Actually, some horses are running because I probably should give the mane what looks so it looks like the horse is actually running. So we're going to erase that. And we're going to make it kind of fly a bit behind it so it gives a sense of motion. And we're going to fill this in. It's not going to be perfectly straight because that'd be kind of boring. Just stuck to it. And we're going to move line because that makes it actually look like a mane. And I just realized I did something I didn't want to do, which is I have pen pressure on, so I hope that didn't screw with it too much. I'm probably going to fix the mane, the front part of the mane as well, since that should be going like that. That's probably more like a giant tuft of hair. Okay. That should be good. Okay, so once you got that good, you're going to go to your layer 2. You're going to make sure white is our foreground color, and you're going to go to the paint bucket tool. Oh, it is a paint bucket tool. Sorry, didn't actually know the complete name. Now we're going to fill that in. Now you're going to notice I did what I said not to, and I forgot to put those lines in. So we're going to hide this layer, and we're going to fix my mistake. Remember to put back to black, because your line art's black. And fix my mistake. go. That should be good. And it is. So, we're going to add some motion lines in here. Make it look nice. Now we did what we did exactly last time, which is we duplicate this layer. That's horseman layer we're duplicating. We merge the copy with our layer 2. So, it's like that. And select your magic eraser. And I didn't mention this last time, but you probably want to turn anti-animals on, because that really helps with making it proper. And you'll see there is our nice name, and there's our line. So, like last time, we want that white, and you know what, we're gonna, usually what happens if you do one pixel with pen pressure like I did, if you have a tablet, it'll basically just start messing with your opacity. So we just merge these two. Our opacity should be 100 and should be fine. Except for, of course, I'm just going to put it to 75 like I usually do, because it gives it a nice effect when you change the color here. So, now that we have that done, we're going to make our shadow and highlights. We're going to go Control N, this is the shadow layer. We want mode, multiply, and we want highlights, and we want mode, and let's do linear dodge add. Alright, so shadows, once again, same as last time. We want dark blue, we want soft brush, and about 11 pixels is what I find usually good. And turn down the opacity to about 15, 13, whatever. Around there works perfectly fine. And then do what we did last time, and make our nice happy shadows. Now, this is a main, it's not going to be so blunt and straightforward, so you just kind of swirly lines, so it's kind of like it's flowing. And you just keep doing that a bit until it looks nice. And that actually doesn't really look too good. I don't know, I'm kind of terrible with commands. And there's also some stray pixels. If you have stray pixels, just flip your eraser to a normal eraser, that is, and fix it. But I think these pixels are actually me not coloring in the lines. Let's see if that's the case. So if you want to double check, if you ever want to double check to see if you're making this mistake that I'm making, layer 3, make a new layer, at the very bottom, switch to some really bright color like red, fill it in and see how there's all these cracks. That's not what we want. So we're going to see, just select your entire horse meme and see if we can just kind of move it. Not much work needed. Now we're going to hide that because it's bright, distracting. Okay. Now, shadows are kind of, okay, they're ugly, but it's wavy, so we're good. We're going to put this down to our dark gray. And now that we've darkened that, sorry, I just paused it right there, there's an issue. Stuff, highlights. Once again, same as last time, make it nice light yellow, and go over it. And that's kind of crap, but it works. Okay. So now that we got that done, I noticed LineArt seems a bit light, so actually, you know what, it looks good on pasty, we'll keep there. And well, you're pretty much done, but I'm just gonna fix this because I noticed I can't get these gaps perfectly. We're gonna just mess with this. You probably won't have to mess with this. I just make mistakes like this all the time. There we go. That's good. Zoom out, see if it looks good. It looks nice. Looks pretty much like it's part of the horse. And okay, so we got that. If you have Photoshop or if you have a program that supports smart objects, it's really nice. It's really helpful. It helps condense everything down. Smart objects are similar to our group feature, except for it is now a new object, basically. So, oh jeez, this doesn't look too good. Yeah, my LineArt's hating me right now. Huh. Oh, there we go, that should fix it. No, it didn't. Please excuse me for a moment while I set to fixing my horse's hair. That should fix it. Okay, now we're officially fixed. Okay. So what you're gonna do, sorry about all this randomness, usually this doesn't happen. Select your horse mane, your highlights, your shadows, and your layer 2, if that's what it's called. It should be just your base layer of the mane. And we're going to say convert to smart object. Yeah, this is on the right click menu. I'm sure it's on one of those other menus, but I don't know where it is. And what you see now is has a symbol next to it that designates smart object. We turn off, the entire layer disappears. And to edit this, double click the smart object. This message will appear unless you click the don't show this again dialog. And it'll show your mane. Just your mane. It doesn't show the rest of the horse, but just your mane. So you can edit this if you want. And if you make a change, just hit Control S or go File Save, and it'll work perfectly. Now we're going back to our normal horse. Now, I could do the tail, but, you know, that's boring, and I don't think you want to sit here and watch me just draw. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you why we're making this separate from the actual LineArt. Now, because I'm cool, let's say I don't want just a horse. Let's say I want what would be a cool thing? Maybe. Actually, no, let's say horses and zebras are pretty similar. Let's make it zebra mane. We're gonna call this layer zebra mane. By the way, I did make a layer for my base layer. If you missed that, just make a layer for yourself quickly for your base. So, zebra mane. Now, I pretty much know what zebra mane looks like. For you who don't, I guess you could look up a zebra, or if you're doing a different animal, you wouldn't have to figure out what a zebra looks like. Once again, because the last brush we used was for the shading, you'll want to switch it to a hard brush, size 1 pixel, opacity 100. And we're going to draw our zebra mane. Zebra mane. Pretty. We're going to turn off that. So, zebra mane's pretty stiff. It's kind of like a mohawk, I guess. Not really like a mohawk.